Hi, this is Michael Jones, Chairman and CEO of Caravel Concepts. Welcome to Market Insights, our weekly commentary on economic and political events and the potential implications for those events on financial markets. Let's get started. Okay, I want everyone to take a deep breath and take a big sigh of relief. Because with all the drama in Washington, the lawsuits, the vote recounts, we're not going to talk about any of that.
Was much rejoicing.
Instead, we're going to talk about the potential market implications of some of the things that are going to come out of the lawsuits and the demand for vote recounts. Because while attention is being diverted onto those topics, a couple of things that are key to our positive market outlook could be slipping away or being pushed more into 2021. So let's talk about what could potentially slip away and what might be pushed into 2021. What is potentially slipping away is a consensus that the Republicans are going to pick up at least one seat in Georgia. And you say, what do all these lawsuits and the controversy over election counts have to do with the Senate race in Georgia? Well, what Republican strategists would love to be able to do right now is say to those center voters, those swing voters, the ones who determine elections, remember our thesis, it's not the folks wearing the red MAGA hats, it's not the folks wearing the Feel the Burn t-shirts, those folks always vote Democrat on this side or Republican on that side. The folks who determine elections are the swing voters in the middle. And what Republican strategists would like to be saying right now to those swing voters in the middle is you've got to make sure that Joe Biden doesn't raise your taxes. You've got to make sure he doesn't endanger the economic recovery with big corporate tax increases and so on. And so you've got to vote for a Republican for senator. Unfortunately, they can't say that, because the president will be mad at them if it seems like they're conceding that Joe Biden has indeed won the election. So their strategy for this runoff election is somewhat hobbled. Will that endanger the ability to recapture the Senate by the Republicans? My guess is probably not, because I think those swing voters are already very much of that attitude. They do not want the Democrats to control all three branches of government. I think they're still going to vote for Republicans. But we have to at least acknowledge that the Republicans are right now fighting this campaign with one hand tied behind their back, and that could have implications. And remember, having divided government is a big part of our thesis for a big market rally in 2021. The other part of our thesis for a big market rally in 2021 is stimulus. And stimulus right now, with all the energy being devoted towards recounts and lawsuits, right now, not a lot is being done towards getting a new stimulus package done in the lame duck session of Congress. That's important to understand, because we just had jobless claims numbers released. They were about, call it right around 750,000 new cases of joblessness for American workers. To put that into context, before COVID, the highest we had ever seen was about 690,000. So we are now 7 months in to the COVID recession, and we are still generating weekless job losses that are worse than the worst recessions of 2008, 1982, 1970. Go back all the way in time. We've never had this level of job losses. And that's hard sometimes for people to keep in mind, because the COVID recession has been a very selective recession. There's a great many Americans who have been almost unaffected by this, except they don't have to shave and they don't have to go into work in the morning. Meanwhile, there are other parts of America where the COVID recession has been utterly devastating. That sort of unfair division in the COVID recession sometimes blinds us to the economic pain that's being inflicted on the overall economy. So, what does that mean for financial markets? Well, It was just announced that Mitch McConnell will at least talk to Democrats about a stimulus package in the lame duck session. That's progress, but without President Trump weighing in, it's kind of hard to imagine that a lot is going to get done, at least until 2021. That means we could see a delay in getting stimulus. That means we have a delay in getting more Fed money printing injected into financial markets. And that may mean that the wonderful, exhilarating rallies that we've enjoyed since the election, driven by both the notion of divided government and the notion of COVID-19 vaccines having unbelievable efficacy, 95% efficacy, all that good news may be hitting a little bit of headwind for some disappointing news in the next few weeks. We should be ready for that. We should just buckle our chin strap and look past it. Because whether we get stimulus in the lame duck session or in early 2021, our assessment is we're going to get stimulus. And that means we're going to get another round of Fed liquidity injections into financial markets. And that's going to be really, really good for asset prices. And that uncertainty over the runoff in Georgia, again, our assessment, swing voters are already of a mind to split government between Democrats and Republicans. Therefore, it will not have a negative impact, the fact that Republicans aren't able to lead with their strongest case for getting 2 more Republican senators. Not sure that's going to be a problem. So we're still saying we could be in for a little bit of volatility. We're going to look through it into 2021 because we still think those 2 pillars of our optimistic outlook are still very much in place. Thanks for joining us for Market Insights. We hope you found it helpful. If you'd like more of our research, you can find it at caravelconcepts.com or you can subscribe at the link below. Thanks.